Hello and welcome back to Metaphor ReFantazio. Last time, big spoilers if you haven't seen it, Luis died. Which is crazy. I still don't believe it. And that's why I was a little bit stunted in terms of my reaction to it last time, because I'm still in disbelief. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. The story doesn't make sense because Luis is the bad guy. He is 100% the guy. He has the aura. He's, you know, he has an air of villainy about him. He's so Saturday morning cartoon villain energy that it doesn't make sense that he would just be, like, dead. It's like, oh, alright then. Why did we spend the last, how long are we in here? Let's have a look. Let's look at the save thing. Why did we spend the last 84 hours talking about how brilliant Luis is, about how incredible he is, how good at magic he is? He didn't use a single, well, I mean, he used a thing that lowered attack and defense, like, by a sharp amount in the combat. But, like, why were we talking about how good at magic he is if he's never going to use magic? It was just a very odd fight. It was like, well, why would he do this? He won. And then he chose to fight us. And then he was like, oh, well, I guess made the wrong choice. And then that's the end of him? It doesn't add up, right? Like, it's so anticlimactic. So, this time, we're looking for where they're going to go with the story. We're going to assume that they're going to build up a new big bad. If the big bad is Forden, I don't know. It doesn't work for me. I'm assuming there's got to be someone else, right? There's got to be someone else, or return of Luis in some way. Like, maybe he just turns up tomorrow perfectly healthy. That would be crazy. Something like that. But right now, I'm just like, nope. This doesn't, like, it doesn't fit. It's not what I think it should be. Also, I really want to see if we can see the King's Rock right now as well. Because the King's Rock, up until this point, has basically been Forden and Luis. Is it just a picture of Forden now? Is there something else going on with it now? I have no idea. Also, I looked up the Holy Grail from Persona 5 and compared it to the Holy Grail from the previous one, and I think they're meant, like from the previous episode, I do think they're meant to be the same thing. I think it's meant to be a nod and a wink to Persona, but also, I guess that would imply that this world is a post-apocalyptic version of the Persona world, which is a pre-apocalyptic version of SMT. Like, which is weird. Obviously, they're not all in the same timelines. We can assume that they're similar timelines with different events happening. It is very weird to have that as the outcome. Also, looking at where technology is, this would also be a, like, this is a separate timeline to, like, the Soul Hackers way of it. Like, it doesn't go into that. Although Soul Hacker is referenced in this game as well. It is all sorts of weird stuff. Obviously, they're just using them as references. I think Etrian Odyssey is mentioned in this game as well. So there's all sorts of different references to old Atlus games. But they really like to do this thing where they put in deliberate references to previous games that are more than just a reference, right? Like, they're oh, this would link into that story somehow. It doesn't in any way, in any of these, go into how it would connect, right? Like, it doesn't say, oh, right, well, because this happened at the end of P5, this led to the Metaphor timeline. No. It doesn't say, like, because these mechanics happened in P5, it's going to lead into Metaphor. It doesn't do any of that, but it leaves little hints, and it's like, well, what if this is that world? What if this is just what happened? It's a very odd thing for them to do, because it leaves us asking the question, well, if that's the case, can we assume other things from that world are true in this world? I don't know. It's odd. That's what I'm meaning. It feels a little like weird. I like the weirdness, but it still feels weird. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling. Let's have a little chat to some of our party members and see what they're thinking. Hello. Could Forden have truly killed His Highness? If the attack were by his hand, we must have our answers from him, no matter the means. The true culprit behind the curse must be brought to justice and fast. His Highness's life is at stake. Okay. We also have no proof that actually killing the person who cast the curse will remove the curse, right? We have some theories about that, but we have no proof. Oh yeah, also, I know I'm rambling again, and I do realize I'm rambling for quite some time, but I feel like if any point in the game deserves some rambling, this one does. Rella. I still don't trust Rella. And I was trying to think, like, where did we hear that you have to kill the curse's source to get rid of it? And I was like, was that not Rella who told us that? Could Rella have been setting up Luis to die? Like, if Rella was the person who was on the Charadrius spying to Luis, she told us that we could get rid of the curse by killing Luis, basically. So, a lot of things line up for Luis being set up for us to kill. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, how are you doing, Yufa?
That's Luis.
Luis was by no means an innocent man, but we still killed someone who we shouldn't have. It's not so much that I feel guilty, but I have a sense of foreboding. I hope it's only in my imagination. Forden, that cur. I'd long believed the church was not as pristine as it presented, but this... If he truly were the man behind the attack, we must reclaim the spear, and swiftly. Oh yeah, we've lost the spear as well. Hello. We've finally taken down our greatest foe, yet it seems we can't celebrate just yet. I was naive to think that taking down Luis would solve our problems. Well, it did get you your revenge. That's a positive. Oh, hello, Juna. We murdered Luis, but the prince's curse is unbroken. We went through so much to get here, but I can't help but feel conflicted. And to make things worse, Rella seems to be hiding something. She's never been a very good liar. Rella's hiding something. Okay. She's never been a good liar? What if that's not true? What if she's actually a fantastic liar? Also, Basilio and Fidelio just left to start a restaurant. I never even talked about that. That's crazy. Like, I was 99% sure that one of them was going to be in this position. I actually had a theory that it was going to be both of them, and like a dual position, like they were both going to be our, like you do all the bonds together, and they were going to have both of them as a party member, as in the same bit. Nope. Nope, this is somebody else. Unless it's someone, unless it is one of them and they come back. I feel like if it was to be one of them, it seems like Fidelio has, you know, he's completely broken and he's gone, no, I'm going to go start a restaurant. Basilio, I think, could potentially join us. I don't know, I think another physical party member would make sense. But, yeah, not sure. Anyway, let's go to bed. Let's rest.
Good night.
Rest well.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Now, let's get this year's Saints' Day Festival of Montario underway. We will begin with a few words from His Eminence, Sanctifex Forden.
Okay, now that is weird. Right above Batlin's head, that is Fidelio and Basilio. And then there's Godot right next to them, and the rest of them are Sanctists. So they both just happen to be here? Why? Why are they here? Okay. Interesting.
Looks like Dracodios hasn't left his side.
Today is a day of great celebration. A day to offer up our thanks to God. But first, an announcement. Luis is dead. The royal family's murderer has been put to justice. Now much of the kingdom's trust lies with me. Even this king-defying lance is safe in my hands. I would not see further bloodshed in endless, futile conflict. Is it not past time for reconciliation and open dialogue as a newly forged nation?
He's talking as if the race is already over. What about deciding the winner?
All but a formality now, isn't it?
His Eminence has the overwhelming majority on his side. Better to establish peace now and crown Sanctifex Forden.
No. He would end the tournament here and now.
So he's just going to call the race while he's ahead? How convenient. But the throne's decided by the king, not this tournament.
Forden only had to abide by that when he had Luis to compete with. If he ends this while he's this far ahead, we won't be able to reverse it.
Well, the only thing we can do is get out on stage and present an alternative view. Let's throw in an alternative narrative.
Oi! The game's not over yet, you cocky bastard!
Oh, we've been hearing a lot about Lovelace. Yeah, what's he up to?
We only seek to submit to the will of the people. Though you would be wise to quit the race with all speed.
Forden for the throne! Then we will finally have peace!
Hail His Majesty Forden! Long live His Majesty Forden!
Damn him. The people already believe him the victor. Tournament won or no, his dominance will soon be unshakable.
Let's go. We reclaim the lands, now!
Now? Are you out of your mind?
No, for once, I agree with Stroll's plan. We go out there, we take the lands, and we say this competition is not over yet.
If he's going to keep it close to hand, we'll never have a chance to swap it out. We'll have to take it by force.
We have no choice.
We have no choice.
If there really is no other way.
Oh?
So you were after this lance all along? Loyalists indeed. How many more candidates must die by your hand?
His magler is horrific, distorted. It's sickening.
Oh? Is he affected by melancholia, you think?
What did you? How dare you, you pagan wretch! You would steal this holy lance for your own vile ends. That alone is treason against the kingdom, you filthy assassins.
Assassins? Then we're in good company.
Oh?
That night, you were the one behind the attack on His Royal Highness. You framed Luis for your crime and banished him from the palace. Do you deny it?
Precisely the sort of baseless claims I'd expect from desperate sinners.
Baseless, is it? In that case, shall we produce proof of your treason?
You waste your breath. What do your words matter now? The royal family is gone. Luis is dead. Only I remain. And only I am fit for the throne.
You vile traitor!
You call His Eminence a traitor? Preposterous! The Sanctifex is incapable of such deeds!
Your Majesty Forden, punishment to the disloyal. Judge these ruffians with your divine lance!
Behold, the flock has spoken. Those who defy me are to be executed. Before you die, know that I am in your debt for killing Luis and handing me the crown.
We've got to show that the prince is alive, right? That would, and still cursed. That would completely collapse his story currently.
What the hell's going on? I thought the prince's curse was supposed to be off.
It's clearly not. The prince's assassination, the whole lot. It was all the Sanctists. It was all that bastard pulling the strings from the start. Wait, is that?
Oh? Luis?
You, identify yourself.
No. That looks like Luis, though.
Who are you? We're at a festival. Should we not be festive?
No way.
I've come to meet you, Forden.
Luis? Impossible. How could you have survived? Not that it matters. It falls to me to finish the job, then. Coming here sealed your fate. Hell awaits, and this time I'll make sure you stay there. Face your divine punishment, Louise!
Oh?
But why?
It appears your sins outweigh mine.
What have you done?
That lance is counterfeit, just like you.
He switched out the lance?
This is the true lance.
You snake, Louise.
No way.
Did he just kill Sanctifex Forden?
No. Impossible.
I'm back in. I'm sold. Luis, I told you, he's got the aura. Forden just didn't.
Nothing to see here. The festival is cancelled. Cancelled.
Del, Lord Luis is alive.
What's going on?
Wait a second. If the prince's curse isn't lifted, like if Forden's dead and the curse isn't lifted, does that mean that it was Luis all along? Oh no. Wait, but then how did Forden know about the event unless Forden was working with Luis? I have so many questions.
Good people, you have heard the truth with your own ears. Forden was the vile mastermind behind the prince's assassination.
Wait, but if the prince doesn't get his curse removed, then that means it was Luis, but Luis has tricked us into telling everybody it's Forden, and because we're working for the prince, everybody's gonna believe what we've just said, because we have no reason to have lied. Oh, that's good.
For casting his sins upon me, for seeking to usurp the throne, I have passed due judgment. A tainted Sanctifex is unfit to rule. What's the matter? You seem lost for words.
I'm just in awe. You came back to life? He was never dead? Okay. Here's how I see it, right? We chucked something at Luis. It was the spear. The spear stabbed into Luis. The spear then wouldn't come back. Then Luis appears on the roof, freshly stabbed and weaker. We then kill that Luis. Although, wait a second, did we kill him? Not necessarily, because the only person who said that we killed him was somebody who was over his body. What I'm wondering is it a body double? Was it a body double of Luis, or was Luis only pretending to be dead, and then he has somebody within Forden's party who is a spy who has confirmed that Luis is dead, and then everyone believed it, and then that was it, and then somebody switched out the lance, which he would be able to do because he had the fake lance. But then he would need to know the lance was fake, but Fidelio had worked out the lance was fake, but Fidelio seems surprised that Luis is back. So somebody else worked out the lance was fake, but Luis could have worked that out because of the lack of magla. You came back to life?
You came back to life? You believe me resurrected? Even if I could defy death, I care nothing for the prospect.
Then how? How are you alive? Forden's own attendant confirmed your death.
Forden's attendant? You mean that fellow?
Yes.
No. Zorba?
Zorba? Zorba? I'm sorry, Rella. I owe you a huge apology. It turns out you weren't evil, which means my evil meter has continued to be off. Zorba was back. I suppose he was a necromancer. Coming back from the dead is kind of in of what he does. Like, bringing things back from the dead is what he does, but Zorba?
Back at the Grand Cathedral, I ordered the dead to recover my body if the need arose.
I'd always intended for Forden to die by my hand. And the first step in his downfall was Zorba's infiltration.
Impossible. The lance pierced you through your very breastplate!
It did indeed. And frankly, I'm still impressed. Few could land such a decisive blow against me. But I'm afraid fate was on my side, not yours.
Mortal anatomy is my speciality. I knew at first glance that the wound was deep, but the heart was intact. Lord Luis is destined for far greater than this, so I devised a plan. I would proclaim his death and deceive both Forden and his flock. After that, it was simply a matter of magically regenerating his flesh overnight. Only a fool would expect him to die in such a place.
I could have emerged as soon as I'd healed. But where's the theater in that? Today is a day of celebration. The least I could do is offer a fitting death out of mercy.
Why do you have the real lance? Wasn't it supposed to have gone to Forden?
Wee bit slow on the uptake, eh? I just told you, I was present for the inspection. It was hardly a difficult task to swap out your counterfeit.
So you knew the truth of it? No. Have you always been ahead of us? Ever since the moment we thought Zorba dead?
Oh yeah. Wait a second. 100% Zorba would have 100% given us away. And he knew that we absolutely murdered Liddell, which means he knew that Juno was also a traitor, which means that he let Fidelio and Basilio go after us, knowing that we were, go with us, knowing that we were traitors. This is a crazy plan. I love this.
A holy lance, a convincing prop. What does it matter? Had I truly died, it would simply indicate that I was never fit for my ambitions. Power is the only true arbiter. Behold the proof. Forden lies dead, and the lance is in my hand, just as planned.
I also love that he's just like, he obviously does not care that we tried to kill him. He's like, yeah, sure, of course you tried to kill us, but you didn't succeed because your power was not high enough to kill us. Because his whole thing is about power being the the only factor that matters. He's like, well, I simply would have expected you to try and kill me, and if you had succeeded, then I was not worthy, and therefore it would be okay because I wasn't worthy, and therefore that's fine. He's just like, he's completely unbothered. It's great.
You let us do as we pleased, even knowing the risks. You're insane!
Indulge me a question. You stole the magic formula from me. Surely you soon learned that it was useless. That's why you then resorted to killing the caster. You were desperate to lift the spell. Is that not so?
And in doing so, we have revealed the prince is alive to him.
In other words, the curse's victim still draws breath. For that reason, you sought to kill me even amidst this competition, even with the difficulty of the king's magic in your way. So, His Venerable Highness the Prince survived. Where is he? Speak or die.
Please, spare us! No! Stop! Leave them be!
How quickly the Sanctus break rank and flee. Their flock left to die. This is Sanctism.
No! Stop him!
Don't!
Out of the way!
What? Why?
Go! Run!
Right.
Thank you.
You protect them. Yet what value do they have to you?
It's not that! This is just wrong! It's wrong, me lords!
I see. So even you two faltered.
Del!
Oh.
Vitelio!
Hey! Wake up!
I get it now. Only fair thing in this world is power. With it, you can take whatever you want in this life. Or so I thought.
Del.
But you know, if all the weak get left behind, who's left to protect them? I've been an idiot. Sorry about that.
Stop talking, Del.
I see it, you know. Our little diner. Music in the air. It's grand. Look after Lady Juna.
Huh? Hey. Del? Del!
I wanted them to join us, but not like this.
Pitiful. See what brotherhood earned them.
Oh no. I really liked these two. Oh, now there's only one.
Lord Louis, that's what it all comes down to for you, yeah? The strong are right, the weak are wrong. Doesn't matter what you were born into, there's fairness in that. We saw you as our hope. We thought that if you had a proper strong fella on top, he'd be able to put a stop to all the meaningless discrimination. But we had it wrong. You're no ray of hope. It doesn't matter to you. Killing anyone, it doesn't make you feel unclean. You're the kind of cold-blooded bastards we hate more than anything!
Do not concern yourself with this peon, Lord Louis. With my newfound power, I shall tear them limb from limb.
This way! Guards, hurry!
Step aside. You have important work to do.
Hey! Seize the criminals who murdered His Eminence!
We didn't do it, but we should probably still run. Basilio, come with us!
Shut up! What about Del? You saw what that bastard did to him!
I will not let you die in vain. Your brother didn't do this so you could get yourself killed. For now, please flee with us.
Shite!
Come, make haste!
Oh. Welcome back.
It went about as well as could be expected. We wanted something nicer for his grave, but they told us something like that's reserved for Sanctus tradition.
You can expect little else in Altabri.
I apologize for not being present.
We've just gotten ourselves out of the public eye. If we had gone as a group, worst case, we'd have been turned in.
I wish we could have mourned him at his home. It had to happen in the lap of the Sanctus Church of all places. I hear the Parapists typically prefer a more joyful send-off, with singing and celebration.
It's all right. Us soldier kids could never afford to be too picky. Telling you he couldn't choose where to snuff it. The fact that you were there, Lady Juna, that's enough for us.
Basilio.
Best to leave him be for a while. He's just lost the only family he had.
By the way, have you checked the Farsight mirror? The curse might be...
I think you're a little optimistic there, Stroll.
Unfortunately, it still hasn't lifted. Guess that means it was someone other than Forden after all.
Like Luis? I mean, Luis is back now. He's gotta be #1 suspect again. 100%. I mean, Rella could still be evil, but she's she couldn't really be... I mean, she was working for them when she was that age, and she is lying. Could be Zorba. Probably not.
But Forden brazenly admitted that he had been the mastermind. Luis was innocent of that crime, at least.
In which case, the only person we know who knows about curses would have been Rella. Which means that when we were showing it to her, she would have been able to hide the fact that she knew exactly what that curse was for.
Someone must have cast it at Forden's command. Unless we can find and kill them in time... Damn it all!
We've more pressing problems at hand, don't we? Now Luis knows the prince is alive. Surely that's far from ideal.
The village is deep in the forest. It's not an easy place to find, even if you're looking. Going to the prince's side can be dangerous, so let's not get ahead of ourselves.
But even if we sought the real culprit, we no longer have any leads to follow.
If I might make a suggestion, perhaps we should visit my sister again. She may have some insight on the Sanctus Church's past.
Oh. Okay.
But that's tomorrow's concern. As for tonight, we could all use some time to rest our hearts and minds.
Oh, look at you, kid. You look near dead yourself.
Tell? What?
Seems you made it out in one piece, though.
Are you alive? But back there, you... Don't tell me you pulled some bloody trick. Just like Luis. Bloody hell, Tell. I thought I...
Basilio, sorry. From here on, you're taking the lead.
But why? I can't without you. Tell, I only made it this far because I followed you.
Don't give me that. You're the strong one. Me, I never knew where I was going. Basilio, protect the weak. Swear you'll do it, not for me, but for yourself. If you can do that, I'll always be with you.
Tell...
Don't give me that look. Well, this one's goodbye for now. You ready? Let's hear it, Basilio. You fight, but why?
O Lodestar, ye grief-racked brother, O thou anguished traveler. Thy long stagnant stance hath finally been broken. Now choose thy path.
Not really a choice. It's back to the starting line. This time I'll lead. Ardell entrusted me with this chance. I've got to show him I've got this.
Thank you. Thou hast chosen a noble parting. O Lodestar, whose light reveals the king's own path. Henceforth, thy fears and insecurities are thy light. Awaken.
See you around, Del.
Thank goodness! You're finally awake! You were passed out! Don't scare me like that! Not that I can blame you. After all that's happened.
Sir Basilio, there's magla flowing through him. I think it's the same as our power.
It's you lot, from before.
They want to pay their respects for Fidelio.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.
Del. Funny, innit? Maybe this world's not so bad. Thanks.
Oh. That was a really good awakening. I think that might be my favorite one so far. So now we have Basilio as an ally, which is what I thought might happen, just not in any way the way I thought it would pan out. Actually, when I saw Fidelio throw out that shield, so that shield attack he did, I thought, oh, we haven't seen any magic like that. Maybe Fidelio was joining us, and then... Oh no, he did not. But we have a new ally, Basilio. Basilio, the badass bruiser carrying his brother's honor, has become your ally.
By God, what in the world is that, lads? It struck down Santifex Forden right before our eyes. That's supposed to be impossible.
So this is the Prince of Oceania. We know who all of these people are, but this is also where they speak to Rella. That's intriguing.
And Luis made sure it was a bloody spectacle, before an audience even. The bastard is making sport of it.
We must devise a plan. Otherwise, even if Luis does not sway our supporters, they may lose faith in the church.
Before all else, we must choose a successor, but they need not share Forden's strength.
It's gonna be Santifex Rella, isn't it? It's gotta be. I think she's evil.
I have brought her here.
You requested an audience? Assembled lords?
Rella, we must ask your support. Let me be direct. We would like you to enter the tournament as a formal successor to His Eminence Sanctifex Forden.
This girl? She is your plan?
Have you gone mad? I reject this proposal. If anyone is to succeed His Eminence, it should be me, as his trusted right hand.
See sense. Strength alone means nothing. And without that, you have nothing worthy of the people's loyalty.
Rella, will you not speak? Surely you feel what they ask of you is beyond your station.
It's not beyond her station if she's been the one manipulating things to make this happen, though.
Well, that is...
Also, wait a second. Wait a second. Rewind a little bit. Luis on the Charadrius had a visitor. Visitor wearing a Sanctus robe. The visitor told Luis that we, presumably that we were not on his side. But Luis already knew that we weren't on his side, and he'd known all along. So that visitor must have been someone who Luis didn't... It could have been Zorba still. But it might not have been talking about us. Or it might be somebody who didn't know that Luis knew that we weren't on his side, who was telling him that. That's interesting. There's all sorts of things now where I'm like, huh. Now I wonder how that fits in. But if Rella is secretly evil, then that could work.
You are wise beyond your years, Rella. Surely you understand. What the lost children need now is not a righteous avenger, but a refuge from their fears. The people would flock to a saint who dwells among her people. Already many would rejoice to see you rule as queen. Rella, will you answer their call?
This is all rather sudden.
Of course, you would have our full support. Naturally, we will make arrangements so that the tournament's next round turns in your favor.
Even so, I am unfit to be queen.
Allow me to clarify. This is not exactly a request. Would you rather have that tyrant Luis become king?
Well...
Hey, sounds like we've got big news. I just heard from the pack of Sanctists. I figured they'd shove someone up to take Forden's place. But where it is, it'll be Saint Rella. Gonna be an announcement tomorrow.
The mourning for Forden's barely started, and they're already lining up his successor. And Rella, at that. Going for popularity over power, it seems.
They're getting careless. Though, thinking about it, maybe it's a smarter choice than it seems.
But, say Saint Rella wins against Luis, becomes proper queen and all gets to do what she wants. Doesn't that tidy this whole thing right up?
No! This can't be her own decision. Just the idea of being queen would put her stomach in knots.
The politicians must be trying to make her their puppet. Perhaps it was an order she could not refuse.
This isn't good. Probably not the best time to talk to her either.
But that's got to mean they're keeping the tournament going, right? Then they'll probably announce the next challenge once Rella's candidacy goes public.
Either way, I don't like it. This is all escalating too fast for my tastes. All the support Forden had campaigned for will likely just go straight to Rella with hardly a dent. If Luis and the Sanctus Church are trying to reclaim the status quo as the two pillars of government, that'll be a tough lead to shake. After all, just lifting the curse isn't going to be enough to restore the prince to the throne.
Indeed. Luis versus Rella. Front-runner and runner-up, with no ties to the royal family between them. Everyone will see plain that popularity's eclipsed royal right. His Highness himself will have to win this battle on the faith of the people, or his claim to the crown will never be acknowledged.
Besides which, Luis now knows that His Highness lives. His whereabouts have not been discovered, but the Kingslayer will take up the hunt.
So many obstacles. What do we do?
We have to keep trying to break the curse, but we also need people to support the prince's claim to the throne. To move forward, we need to buy time.
Well, I know one way to keep a VIP protected. A classic tactic, really. The military does it all the time. We use a body double. You're supposed to be a dead ringer for the prince, yeah?
No? Like, no? No. We don't really look like the prince at all. The prince is a Clamar. I mean, he doesn't have, like... What?
You mean he pretends to be the prince? That's absurd. You realize it's a capital offense to impersonate royalty.
And are people going to believe that the prince is an elder? Really? As long as they don't find out?
I'm in. As long as they don't find out.
You can't just casually drop an "I'm in" on this.
Ardell was right about you being mental. I think we could pull it off, though. The prince has been gone ages. Nobody's in a position to point out differences.
What, you mean his race changed? Surely that's... somebody's gonna point that out.
Wait, just think about this. He's elder. The royal family's Clamar and have been for generations. His appearance would be the least of our worries.
Thank you, Stroll. I never thought I'd say this twice, but you are the voice of reason here.
If I may. His Highness the Prince lacks the Clamar horns. Some rumors suggested 'twas not some miraculous feature of the prince alone, but a mark of elden blood.
Oh?
I've heard no confirmation either way myself, but at the very least, 'tis a tale any aristocrat is bound to have heard in passing.
In other words, with an elder claiming the prince's name and a known royal knight to vouchsafe him, we'd have enough plausibility to shake the nobles to their core.
Okay, here's an interesting question for you. If we pretend to be the prince, right? So we're going to say we are the prince. And people believe that we are the prince, and then they therefore want us, or like / the prince, to be in charge and be king. If they believe that we are the prince and we are impersonating the prince, would the prince become king or would we become king? I have to assume it would be us, but anyway.
Of course, all this means little, unless our double himself is willing. What say you?
I am the prince.
I am the prince. Was that believable?
Even this doesn't get to you? Sometimes I worry about you.
Your resolve has been challenged many times over, and never have you strayed. I am humbled once more. I pledge my sword to this gambit.
Good. Then we declare ourselves tomorrow, where this announcement's going to take place. Seems like the optimal place to make sure we're heard.
Right then. Looks like I'll have to give the old girl a polish worthy of a prince. My cue as well. From here on, it's nose to the grindstone until my magnum opus is finished. Can't let the lad be the only one with his life on the line.
Can we talk?
We have no clue what might happen in a situation like this, so once we're done with our preparations in the city, let's focus on tomorrow. But remember, the monks have their eyes on us. Let's keep our shopping to the Blue Sky Bridge area and return to the runner at night. What? This has been action-packed. My god. We're the prince now, at least in name. Okay. Yeah. Well, this is wild. We also have a new party member. You know what? We're going to look at everything next time. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.